Hey everyone, my name is Aaron and this is Dad.0. Today I wanted to do a long-term review of my iPhone 12 Pro Max. Well, I guess it's better to say 3-month review because I don't know if that's long-term. It is to some, but I wanted to tell you guys what I'm liking, what I'm not liking, and how durable this has been over the last 3 months. I got the 128 gig graphite color. I was going to go with the Pacific Blue. I think that looks awesome, but I'm just a sucker for space gray, and specifically this graphite's a little bit darker this year. It just looks so clean and so stealth. One of the questions I get asked a lot is this phone too big? Is it uncomfortable to hold in one hand? Does it feel like it's so big that it's hard to grip? And this was a concern of mine too, because I've never used a phone this big, but after 3 months of usage, I can tell you that my answer is no, I don't think that this is too big. But keep in mind that this is coming from a guy with what I would say is average size male hands. I don't think I have huge hands by any mean, but if you have smaller hands, this may get a little bit more uncomfortable for you to hold. But the reason I don't think it's too big is because of this new design with the squared off edges. It just gives you a much more secure feeling in the hand. With the previous design with the rounded off corners, I felt like when I would reach with my fingers, the phone would start to slip a little bit. Whether it was or wasn't, it was just didn't feel as secure as this new design does. A lot of people ask me about the weight too, because this does feel noticeably heavier than my iPhone 12. We're talking 8.03 ounces or 228 grams versus 5.78 ounces or 164 grams. And I would say if you're coming from a smaller phone, it may take a while to get used to that weight. For me, it took about a week to actually feel normal in my hand. It didn't feel heavy. I don't notice it feeling any heavier than my previous phone. Now, a big reason you go for this phone over the other ones, or maybe the main reason, is the 6.7-inch screen that it has. It's immersive, beautiful colors, gets really bright. It's just a really nice display. And after 3 months, I'm still loving this display. And it's kind of funny because I've been using both this and the iPhone 12. And when I'm using the iPhone 12 Pro Max, I just felt like it was just a little bit brighter. So I looked it up and it actually is. It has a max brightness of 800 nits, where the iPhone 12 is 625 nits. Now, when you're viewing HDR content, they are both at 1200 nits max brightness, but for just typical usage, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is just a little bit brighter. A lot of people mention they wish that this had that 120 hertz refresh rate. A lot of phones are coming out with that now. The iPad Pro has it. I personally think that that would be a nice feature to have. It would definitely make the phone feel faster. It would take away some of the ghosting when you're scrolling. Some games can take advantage of that higher refresh rate, but in typical Apple fashion, they waited on adding that to this year's model, probably just to see how the market reacts to it, or to perfect battery life with that higher refresh rate, maybe to keep costs down, or there might have been supply chain issues. But even though they kept this at 60 hertz, it's still a beautiful OLED display, the best display you can get on an iPhone currently, and it's amazing to watch content on. The other big upgrade over the other models is the camera module. Now, obviously you get the extra camera on the iPhone 12 Pro Max and on the iPhone 12 Pro, and you get the LiDAR sensor, but I think it's the image quality and a few other little subtle features that makes it just a little bit better at taking pictures and video. The first thing I noticed was just the low light capabilities of the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It has that larger light sensor in it that does bring in noticeably more light into your photos in a dim setting. So it makes things a lot more clear and you can see more detail. When I'm using the ultra wide lens, it does appear to have less distortion. I'm not sure if that's a camera upgrade or if that's a software upgrade, but I think it does look a lot better on this iPhone 12 Pro Max. The 5x optical zoom and then the 12x digital zoom are great for really zooming in on those faraway pictures. I've taken some really great night mode portraits of my daughter when we're watching a movie together. Also, the optical image stabilization when you're shooting video is amazing too. I mean, it looks like you're using a gimbal. It looks that great. For instance, I took my dog for a walk the other day and we were walking at a pretty good clip and I decided to take a video to test it out, and it's so smooth. It looks like we were walking maybe a mile per hour. In fact, over the last couple months, I've been shooting my YouTube videos solely with this iPhone 12 Pro Max. So if you want to see more of that video quality, you can go back and check out some of my reviews over the last couple months. Another upgrade over the other models is the battery. Obviously, bigger phone. It's got the biggest battery ever put in an iPhone. This 3,687 milliamp battery lasts noticeably longer than my iPhone 12 in my day-to-day usage. Now, it's really hard to quote exact numbers in terms of hours of battery life you're going to get because it largely depends on how you're going to use your phone, and people use their phones so much differently from one person to the next. But if you're not using this for super intensive tasks all day, I'm talking gaming all day or shooting and editing 4K video, which I do by the way, or streaming for hours on end, you should be able to make it through the full day without having to charge it, no problem. And for comparison, after a normal day of usage with both of these phones, I have normally between 20 and 30% battery left on my iPhone 12 Pro Max, where my iPhone 12 will normally be close to dead, if not dead already. So I'm guessing I can get, in my daily usage, about 2 hours more screen on time than my iPhone 12. So that kind of covers why you would upgrade to the iPhone 12 Pro Max over the other iPhone 12s. But now I just want to cover all the rest of the features. One big new feature that came to all the iPhone 12s this year is the 5G capability. And I'm lucky enough to live in a 5G area, and the speeds are really fast. We're talking over 100 megs download, sometimes close to 200, and that is faster than most people's Wi-Fi. And in my area, it's about 4 to 5 times faster than the LTE speeds I was getting. So it's definitely a nice feature to have. Another feature is the Magsafe connection they put in the iPhone 12s. And I reluctantly opened up my wallet and bought the extremely overpriced accessories Apple sells. I bought the Magsafe case and the Magsafe charger. Now, they both work great. The case does have a great feel to it, gives it a soft touch grip to it, which is nice for this large of phone. And the Magsafe charger does connect perfectly almost every single time. And they do give you a nice little animation telling you that everything's connected the way it should, so there's no guessing whether it's charging or not. I haven't tried out any of the other Magsafe accessories yet, but I really am interested in getting the Magsafe battery when that comes out and the Magsafe wallet, so I hope to get my hands on that soon, and I'll review those when I get it. Another new feature this year is the ceramic shield. Now, when Apple said that they came out with stronger glass and they're calling it ceramic shield, I thought this was another gimmick because every single iPhone that I've ever owned scratched really easily, and most ended up cracking as well at some point, but after 3 months, I have to say, this actually does seem to be a lot stronger and scratch resistant. I can't find a single mark on my screen yet. I don't use a glass protector. I do have it in that MagSafe case, but it is in and out of my pocket a lot, sometimes brushing against my wallet or whatever's in my pocket. So to not have a mark on it yet is pretty impressive. And the last thing I'll touch on is just the performance of this. The A14 absolutely flies. I haven't seen this thing slow down doing any sort of amount of multitasking, gaming. I shoot 4K video. I even have edited a few of them in LumaFusion on this phone with no problems at all. Call quality actually seems to be improved as well. I don't make many calls. I prefer to text, but when I do, I haven't noticed any cutting in and out or dropped calls. I also really like that this is Wi-Fi 6 compatible because I do have a Wi-Fi 6 router with fiber internet, and I can get some really fast speeds. And overall, I love just about everything about this phone. There are just a few nitpicky things that I kind of wish they'll change up for next year. One is a smaller notch. It's still the same size as last year. It does look smaller on the iPhone 12 Pro Max because of the bigger screen, but it's still pretty big by today's standards. Number two would be to change the port to USB-C. It'd be really nice to use my iPad Air charger to charge up my phone so I don't have to bring multiple chargers when I go somewhere. Number three is that I do hope that they can get that 120 hertz refresh rate on the new iPhones this year. I think that's what's going to really make your phone feel faster because processing power is already so fast on these phones that I think the higher refresh rate is really what's going to make a better experience on an iPhone. And last one that I have, and it's more of just my preference, not a huge fan of the stainless steel edges that they have on this. I think it looks great from afar, but once you start using the phone, this thing picks up so many fingerprints. You're constantly cleaning it. I actually prefer the aluminum matte edges on the iPhone 12. I think those look sleek, so maybe change that up. But again, that's just me. So 3 months later, I'm still loving my iPhone 12 Pro Max. Big reasons are this huge display, the biggest display on an iPhone currently, and the added battery life. But I'm also loving the picture and video quality, and being able to use my phone to create high quality video content is awesome. 5G and MagSafe are both really great features that I think will actually get better as time goes on. And 3 months later, with daily usage, this has still been extremely durable. Again, not a mark on it so far, so I'm hoping that lasts. All right, everyone, I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate you guys watching. If you like the video, press that like button. It means a lot to me. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below and I'll respond to them. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks again, guys. I'll catch you on the next video.